Alright, so let's record the video or audio now. There we go. Climb into this hole here. We just have that as our monitor.
Huh.
Alright.
Yeah.
This stuff. Alright, hello everyone, and thank you for tuning in. My name is Joey Alicea, aka milkyvon. I appreciate you tuning in to our first edition of the Beets and Brews Artist Spotlight. So just a quick intro on myself. I'm a local artist here to Jacksonville. I put together different events. I have a monthly event called Beets and Brews, which is multi-genre. A lot of different artists come, and we like to showcase all of our talents. So without further ado, here we have my buddy, Chvnce. He's from Jacksonville, or are you from Jacksonville, born and raised?
Yes.
Okay, so he is from Jacksonville artist, and he's going to be playing with us Beets and Brews April 17th, so our next Beets and Brews. So real quick, just tell us a little bit about yourself. Where are you from, and how long have you been here in Jacksonville?
31 years old. Actually, tomorrow I'm 31 years old. For
real. Shoot, I didn't even know tomorrow was your birthday.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I turned 31. I was born and raised in Jacksonville.
Awesome.
Yeah, it was growing up was kind of different, but that's a whole different story. So.
I feel you. And that's a really good point, because you've been here for a long time, so you've been able to see like all the different changes in Jacksonville just growing up, and especially nowadays things are really different, rapidly changing. So I love that. How long would you say you've been making music?
Really getting into like making it probably about a year. For a while, I mean, I started mixing on Ableton years ago and got in trouble and had to go do some time in the Department of Corrections. So while I was incarcerated, among the many things I learned to do, one of them was going to like the band room and learn how to play like basic keys on a keyboard and jam out with a band. So that's really where it sparked it, because I mean, I was into electronic music. I've been into it since like 2009.
Okay.
And was going to the festival scene and stuff like that. And I got into mixing before I got into trouble and was using Ableton Live to mix with. And then when I got out, obviously, doing time, and when you mess up and you get in trouble, you want to reinvent yourself. Yeah. And you want to learn from your mistakes and have real growth. So that's how it sparked this whole path I'm on with self-spirituality. And yes, it involves like the Hermetic principles, alchemy, the Kabbalah, like pretty much a little bit of everything that I've studied and read. But when I got out, I wanted to go back to using Ableton and get into actually producing music instead of just playing somebody else's songs. Yeah. And it really, I got all my gear together as far as what I needed: a MIDI keyboard, Ableton Live, Serum, of various other VSTs that you can download, a laptop, APC40.
So you just started setting yourself up.
Yeah, I started building a small basic studio to make my music. And I really didn't get into producing until probably around a little bit after this time, last year, when our friend Chandler Cook passed away. Okay. Which he was a really good friend of mine, and we went to school together, and we started going to music festivals together. Yeah. Like, I've known him for so long, and he was the one talking to me that that gave me the idea to go back into doing it. Like, I already had it in my mind, but I didn't really have no drive to do it. And that, after he passed away, and then thinking about him telling me that, it gave me like inspiration to do it. And like a lot of behind what I'm doing is all for him.
That's awesome, man. That is really awesome, and I appreciate you sharing that. So, I was gonna ask what inspired you to start making music yourself, but you kind of threw that out there. So that's awesome. Like, we're on the same page here. So
same frequency, man.
Yeah, I'm telling you, man. Exactly. So, growing up, what did you listen to? Because I know that you said you're a big electronic music fan, but like, I'm talking about when you were a kid,
All right,
little kid.
Dude, I could summarize it. I grew up like because my mom passed away when I was young, and my dad was also incarcerated in prison. So I grew up with my grandparents, but I was always going around with my other grandparents and other family members, and grew up listening, obviously, to like classic rock and pretty much classic rock, and you know what I mean, like rock. Jimi Hendrix, Van Halen. Led Zeppelin, Pink Floyd.
So it's good old rock and roll.
Like Grateful Dead, like the Allman Brothers, stuff like that. And as I got older, obviously that transitioned into like, you know, alternative rock, especially in the 90s, because I was born in 1990. So like being like a kid, I got to hear like Nirvana, you know, Soundgarden, freaking. There was so many good bands out of the 90s, Sublime. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're Alice in Chains. I mean, shit. I could keep going on and on, but I pretty much just gradually went from genre to genre.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
it seems like you had a good foundation on like rock music. And I like that because I see that a lot with artists, you know, whenever they have the exposure to those classics. You start to kind of progress with the newer styles of rock, and they all have some sort of common identity. And here in Jacksonville, we have a lot of artists that like play that kind of spirit of music. So it's something that almost unites us all, even if we are like electronic music heads or like bass heads. It's like we all we're kind of on that same frequency of like anti-establishment, anti-conformity, like really punching the wall with energy and that kind of stuff. But that's really cool that you have made that progression. So finally, and I know you kind of answered this, but what are some of your inspirations for making songs?
Making songs is all pretty much based on life, for me, and experiences and thoughts and feelings and dreams, and most of all, like, you know, just nature.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I surf, so like being in tune with the ocean. You know, there's definitely that's definitely on a different level, and I love it so much. But there's just so many things I could tell you that, I mean,
so like your life experiences.
Skateboarding, you know, being heartbroken, being in love, being angry, like different emotions and stuff like that. But just so much, just everyday life, man. Whatever's around us, and we're included in our path.
Okay. And I look forward to hearing that, because, you know, listening to your music live, every time I hear, I do feel some sort of identity, some sonic identity to it, where I hear it, I know, hey, that's you. So throwing that out there, you know, saying your life experiences, it's almost like a daily evolution thing. Whenever you listen to that music, you can feel almost the experiences of what you're personally going through, or maybe your history. So I really look forward to that, you know, as far as having that, you know, exposure. Now that I know these things, it's going to be an interesting experience. So I really do thank you for that, because, you know, it's a lot of personal things that we've shared here, and a lot of good information, you know, insight on you. So thank you for that, man. I have a couple questions about Beets and Brews, because you're going to be joining us. How did you first hear about Beets and Brews?
Actually, from my roommate slash associate slash good friend slash family slash brother Sideshow, man.
Okay.
It's actually the artist name he goes by, and he was the one that informed me of it, and then when he told me he got on the lineup, he got in contact with you, and you guys gave me a shot, and I really appreciate it. Like, for real, it means a lot to me.
Hell yeah, man. And shout out to Bobby over there. He's just chilling out, He's vibing. He just got back. Both of you guys just got back from Earthfest.
Yeah.
Shout out to Earthfest. You guys slayed out there.
Oh, yeah, that was a fun time.
Man,
much
I was
love
sitting here
Leona Gold and Sketty and Mufasa. Like, for real, man. That was a good festival. Even after it rained, like, I like it when that happens because it's like, you know, you're at this beautiful utopia, and then like it's like a basic anomaly or analogy for fucking light and darkness. You know what I mean? Like, that's what it was. I mean, it was beautiful and sunny out one day, and then like it started out the next day, Saturday started out like that, and then here comes these black dark looking clouds in the sky. Yeah, kind of gets like shaded, and you're like and then it just rains, lightning, you know what I mean?
That's what I'm saying. I was sitting here looking at all
flying
the
around,
like,
and all,
man.
You know what I mean? People getting soaked. And then you see
so
like
y'all stuck it out. Y'all didn't leave till the end?
No, you don't leave. You don't leave.
Oh,
like you that's a good communion time because you'll see people under canopies, in cars, hanging out with each other, and it's just y'all. You guys are hanging out, and it's the interaction and communication, building connections, and getting to know people better. Like,
you're really doing it at that point. You're really doing it. That's awesome. So. That's really cool, and I wanted to go, but I had to stay here, and I was looking at the weather, just thinking, man, they're probably going through it right now. So y'all troop through that. So how many times have you played Beets and Brews?
2 times. This will be my 3rd time playing this weekend.
Awesome. So good magic number 3. What's your favorite part of the event?
Favorite part of it? It's a kind of a collective whole, man. Like, just because there's a lot of good people that are involved in like the scene, as far as the counterculture scene, with jam bands, reggae music, electronic music, and like all these people come out, and you have vendors set up that are doing their thing. You know what I mean? You know, showcasing their art and trying to get commission off of what they make too. Yeah. So. Not only does it help them out, it helps people out that are looking for whatever that they need, or what kind of artwork or whatever that they need, and it kind of, adds something to their life that they need, or it gives them some type of happiness. And you got food, you got, alcohol too, and the music, man. What I loved about it was how it was multi-genres. Yeah. And like, and coming out of electronic music and doing electronic music and being in the scene for a while, like, the one thing I don't like about the electronic music scene is how cliquey it gets, and it's like, true. But everywhere in society is the same way. I mean, you could take our government, for example, where you've got, your Republicans, your Democrats, and your liberals, you know what I mean? Like, to where it establishes a group, and if people aren't with what this group consists of, then everybody else is wrong, and like that like slows down, obviously evolution of us, building better relationships and having more understanding and being aware. Just seeing something from someone else's side. I'm with you on that. I like that you brought that up, man, because that's why I do it, honestly, is the main, just breaking down those borders, because just like we were talking before with the classic rock music, everybody has something that another person likes, everyone has something in common. It's just we get these walls of division just from visual or from, certain backgrounds where people just don't understand others' culture or how they communicate. They just don't get it. So they can't, communicate. They can't click. But at the end of the day, we all have certain things that we all like. And music, food, having a good time. Sometimes people like to drink, some people don't. But a lot of those things all are like common denominators. No, so I like that you brought that up, because that's honestly like hitting it on the head for me. That's one of my favorite parts about it, and the hub thing. So that's cool, man. Any specific artists that you had a good memory watching in the past few times? What, of the last few shows that I've been to? Well, in the last few Beets and Brews specifically. Mission is always one of my favorite DJs to watch. I mean, there's a lot of people there like DJ Squared, Scrimination, Biotechnic, Sideshow, obviously, my roommate, Wes Pipes, and I forget a couple of the other guys that do hip hop and other bands. And Bit Def, and I'd say Mission because I just like he really does. He really does, like, he's a really good all-around good DJ because of, like, his mixing skills and how he vibes off the crowd. And you can kind of tell with, like, you know, what types, like, kind of by, like, looking at the type of people and just kind of, like, trying to identify what that they would like, you know what I mean? And trying to put that out there. He does a really good job of it. Wes Pipes, I always like watching Wes because he's a good hip hop artist.
Hell yeah.
He also makes dope beats too. So
hell yeah! Shout out to Mission and shout out to Wes Pipes and everybody really.
Sideshow.
A lot of really good.
I haven't seen him play yet.
He is.
Yeah, I'm stoked about my little brother Kyle throwing down this weekend too. His initiation into playing live shows.
Oh yes, and that segues me into my next question: is who are you looking forward to seeing? Alien Imposter. We were just listening to his music when we were setting up, right?
Yes.
That was cool. I liked it. I'm
interested to see everybody's sets. My roommates most definitely, just because the set he threw down last night at Earthfest was so dope.
Sideshow?
So, yes, Sideshow threw down such the nastiest set. And the only thing there was only one issue, and it was with the sound. But if we didn't have issues with the sound, as far as like, because the people who were supposed to run the sound brought all these speakers, they set it up professionally, and then when it rained, before it rained, they broke down all their speakers, loaded it in a van, and left the festival. So the only thing that they had was like 2 PA systems that are like bare minimum if you go buy them, so the quality isn't really,
and that's understandable with the rain and everything, how hard, they probably were just making that decision like, hey, we're not going to be able to do any other events if we don't bust this stuff down, because like you said, those tents were going flying. So that's like, you work with what you got. So that's cool to hear that, we have some good sets that we're looking forward to this weekend. I really appreciate you just taking the time and, chopping it up with me, and we're going to have this spotlight up for everyone. That way, people can hear it, people can see it, and kind of get to know us more. And I want to hear some songs for you, man. Yeah, you want to play some music for us?
Yeah, I can do that. Okay,
cool. So let's set it up.
Can I give a shout out?
Yeah, please. Anybody you want to shout out to?
I'm going to shout out to a lot of people and kind of say something, if that's all right.
Please do.
All right, I want to give a shout out to Wub Tub Records, Logan and Landon. I'd like to give a shout out to obviously my roommate Sideshow with Visual Q Collective, and giving me an opportunity to learn how to be a VJ in a better sense from where I started, which that's also that whole thing with Visual Q Collective. Please check it out. That whole project, pretty much all of our projects, Sideshows, mine, and Visual Q, is all based on awareness with what happened to our friend Chandler Cook, and it was because of him having a drug overdose and being led astray to, harder drugs. Yeah. And I was in the same boat. Obviously, I went to prison because of it, and it was from not being educated, man, and not having proper awareness that's what's involved in this whole counterculture scene, because you're going to be like, drugs are way more common, and it's easy to get led astray if you're not educated. Like, obviously, the only thing that you should do, for my personal opinion, is smoke weed and occasionally do psychedelics and use them, have a good time, but also use them to open and expand your mind.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And get to know yourself better. And when I say like expand, like, yeah, like go within and expand yourself.
Yeah.
And, you know, you can tap into this energy and this potential that's pretty phenomenal. I want to give a shout out to Woke and Follow the White Rabbit in Daytona. If you're ever in Daytona Beach, go check out the patio. A couple of my good friends, Brian and Nick and Allie, put that on, and they do a pretty good job, and they're trying to build a good scene and a good community in Daytona. So you check that out. Another shout out to Jonathan with Bass Fan Productions for putting me on.
Hell yeah.
Bass and Billards and looking out. They also got me set up at a gig in Fernandina Beach, and it just means a lot, you know what I mean? Because it took me a minute. The first set I ever played was a horrible set in Daytona.
Yeah. I
didn't have an interface. My sound was clipping because I'm running it through Ableton Live, and you know what I mean. I had to go back, learn where I messed up, and then go back, and I've went through a whole process, and
that's awesome.
You know, just it's funny, man. You know, I want to give a shout out to Alien Imposter, my brother. How do you even say his name? Damon's name. Catharsis. Yeah, Catharsis.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, those are two really close friends, good inspirations. All my friends that helped, you know, like my friend John and Emily, man, they helped me make a song called Yak Attack, and it was just simply us setting up my laptop with my interface and a mic, hitting record and just hanging out and talking. And I like using vocal samples from stuff like that, or from my family and friends, just because it's like, it's way more authentic, and it means more to me because there's some basis, like an exact basis to the whole thing. So
awesome.
And then I want to give a shout out to you, man, for giving me an opportunity to play again, dude.
Hell yeah, dude.
I can't forget about you.
Well, I appreciate you.
Yeah,
definitely,
dude.
Most definitely. And this is going to be something that, you know, we all share. We're all going to keep pushing as much as possible. So thank you so much for joining us, for joining me for this. And yeah, I hope that you enjoy rocking out, because I'm really looking forward to hearing this music. Let's get this rolling.
All right, dude. Let's ride.
All right.